Among the measures being considered today, here we go, a bill to ban the Department of Homeland Security from buying Chinese-made batteries. It also sets up a partnership with federal law enforcement to combat drug and human trafficking worldwide. But the proposed legislation is raising concerns about privacy and how Americans interact with certain technology. So to talk about all this, we have Congresswoman Laurel, a Republican from Florida, joining us now. She's the author of the bill. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So happy you came.
Good morning. Great to see you.
So you say that the bill is going to be adding some layers of transparency and oversight to the department. Why do you believe it's needed, and how would these programs do it? How is it going to work?
So we have a number of bills that are set for consideration this morning in the Homeland Security Committee, and all of them together are really designed to promote good government. As you mentioned, one relates to human trafficking and our partnership with our international allies. We have another that relates specifically on the privacy subject to what the Department of Homeland Security does with private information and identifying information about Americans. So the department has a number of really important functions that cause it to collect that information when you think about the trusted traveler programs and other things that they are doing. So they have some very sensitive information about Americans. And the bill on that subject is designed just to make sure that we are limiting the number of staff and people who have access to that information, and that we're very careful about where it goes, how it's used, and how it's stored, so that we can ensure that that is protected for Americans.
And there's been a lot of talk about TikTok needing to divest, and that the Chinese can control the algorithms that then show us what we see on TikTok, and just social media in general and artificial intelligence that all has our heads spinning while we rush to try to keep up. But you're talking about Chinese batteries. Why is the ban on Chinese batteries a top priority in the legislation?
Well, one of the things we're doing in the House is taking a look at all of the different areas where we intersect with China, or we're relying on China more than we should for any of the things that we need to be independent and strong as a country. So, we see this presenting itself in everything from economics to farmland. So when it comes to batteries and technology, we want to be sure that the components and the products that we're using are safe, and that we're not inadvertently exposing ourselves to some of the bad behaviors we've seen from the Chinese Communist Party. And that includes everything from the theft of trade secrets to, this really inappropriate use of our intellectual property and our technology. We just want to be sure that when it comes to the Department of Homeland Security, that we are clear and we know where our supply chain products are coming from, and we know what is being used for Americans. And I'll tell you one thing that is really, I think, a great thing about today is that we are expecting that most, if not all, of these bills that we're considering will have bipartisan support. So, that's not every day in Congress.
Yeah, wait, what? You think you're going to get something done?
So I am very hopeful that this is going to be a good day where all of the members of the committee are really aligned in trying to work toward these good government policies.
Well, good job, because so often it's just gridlock, isn't it? Let's go back to human trafficking and talk a little bit more about that. What tools does DHS utilize right now for fighting human trafficking? What resources are they going to get, with the other agencies as well?
So right now, there are components of DHS that work on domestic human trafficking and human smuggling. So I know back when I was a prosecutor back at home, we worked a lot with DHS and FBI and local law enforcement to combat human trafficking. One of the things that this bill is doing is ensuring that DHS has the authority and the ability to work with foreign governments, because we see sometimes that these survivors of human trafficking and the people who are being induced to get into these dangerous situations now, some come from America, but many of them are coming from overseas. So it is important that DHS has the ability to collaborate with overseas law enforcement to share information and to partner in these investigations. So this bill will just ensure that that authority exists, that it's clear, and that they're able to work with foreign governments who are aligned in our interest to try to stop this terrible practice. It's one of the things that we have seen happening, unfortunately, down at our southern border, that because there has been so little law enforcement and control at the southern border, that some of these predators and human traffickers have been exploiting that and using it as an opportunity to engage in human trafficking. So we want to do everything we can to be sure that we're putting a stop to that.